Waiting on anyone? You guys good? Okay. All right. Start with the injury report. So out guys will be Dylan Radunes, Chase Young. Questionable will be Devon Vele. The other guys that will be on there but are good to go are Tolley, Trey Palmer, Cam Jordan, and then Trevor Penning. So those guys will be all available and good to go. So open up the questions.
How do you feel like the team handled this week of practice after last week's game?
Yeah, I thought it's been an excellent week of practice. Our guys responded the right way. Obviously, there's frustration anytime a game goes like that, but all you can control moving forward is how you work and how you prepare. And so I thought our guys have responded well.
Do you mind sharing the rest of the week of how the penalties went? Do you guys
I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. Similar, we had a couple on Thursday. So.
Were you pleased with the progress you saw though in that area?
Yeah. Yep. I think we've spent a lot of time. I think our guys are acknowledging it. It's on everyone's mind in a heavy way, which is a good thing.
How important is it to establish the run early in this game with Buffalo?
I think it's just important to have control of your operation, I think, and execute at a really high level. Obviously, you'd love to run the football. That's a big component of this thing. But we got to get first downs. We got to be efficient on first and second down. We got to, just play really clean execution football and, have the football for control the time possession and play that game.
It's kind of a dumb question, but getting the starting offensive line on the field for the first time, how does that help the offense? Just having that group intact.
Yeah, obviously we haven't had that group for most of this last month and a half or so, and so I'm excited to see those guys play. To get them some continuity, get playing. We've had a couple of guys step up and done a really good job, but certainly this is the group that we feel can progress in a really high way and progress together as we build this thing.
Just for Trevor, how can you sense the excitement for him just to get back on the field? Obviously, it's been a while.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job. He's done everything you can ask. Nothing easy about having to navigate an injury to start an NFL season, and with the transition that he went through, just going back to guard, and so he's going to do an excellent job. We're fired up for him.
What's the process for addressing the things that maybe you deem the impetus for slow starts in the first quarter, or really as games go?
Yeah, I think it's just something we've certainly talked about. We've tried to address it through the game plan and just different discussion points, and so obviously it's something that we want to improve on.
Is there something to the feeling or the emotion almost of the beginning of a game, and how do you kind of replicate that in a practice environment?
Yeah, we've certainly talked about it, and so it's one of our discussion points coming out of this week. Obviously, there's some thoughts we have. I don't want to get into all the little moments and little nitty-gritty details, but it's something that we definitely have to improve. I think we've talked a lot this week about the penalties. Just the starting fast, and then just the consistency of the you got to play disciplined, detailed football throughout an entire game.
Do you feel like the amount of penalties you've had in practice this week are fewer than how the week's gone?
Yeah, I think it's been probably similar, if not a touch, a little bit less. Certainly on Wednesday it was a little bit less, which was a good thing, and so we just got to do better there.
Has Chase been able to work with trainers at all during parts of practice week?
Yeah, he's doing everything he can with those guys. Obviously, everyone's got different regimens, different operations when they're coming back from an injury, and so he's doing everything he can. He's been working his tail off. You see him working really, really hard each and every day, and obviously, for those guys, sometimes they're with those guys more often than on the field with the coaches right now.
With calf injuries in particular, is that one of those types of injuries where you almost have to be careful because of concerns about what it could become or anything like that? Like, is there kind of that grading?
I definitely think you have to have awareness to these type of things. There's definitely evidence to support, if you come back too soon on these, they become reoccurring things, and then they create season-long, issues. And so, I think Chase has done everything he can. He's preparing the right way. I think when he's ready, he'll be ready to rock and roll, and we'll have all the confidence in the world.
Kind of a random question here, but what do you think passing has changed to the point league-wide where the 210-yard game is kind of the norm, as opposed to 7 years ago it was everybody was hitting 300, for 5,000. What has changed?
That's a really good philosophical question. I think there's a lot of layers and a lot of really good discussion points there. I think I think there's a combination of a number of things. Philosophically and I think schematically things are always evolving. I don't think you get as many true just downfield one-on-ones in the first and second down world. And then the third down, I think, we got some excellent pass rushers in this league as well as there's ever been. And so the time associated with those plays is a little bit less. And so, I think defense has done a really good job of eliminating bigger plays. It feels like you get less one-on-ones more often. And, certainly this year so far, I can definitely see the trend, where the yardage are going. And you got to play a little bit more patient game.
I mean, it's cyclical, right? Like, do you ever see it swing back the other way again, or is it just?
Yeah, it'll go back and forth. I mean, we can probably go through a history of this league, and going back even when I first got in the league, it was all this like cover two and Lovey and Leslie and all those guys, and they're playing this cover two defense, and it was really sound. And they played Shell and Rod. Rod was at a number of spots, Marinelli, and then it kind of became the Seattle 3, and that kind of became a trend. And then now it kind of, started going into this whole Vic, Vic, who I was with in Philly, and Vic and Brandon and these guys playing a little bit more of the Holt to Shell rotation. And so, offense is defense. It's a cool piece. You can go down this history path of just seeing how the game constantly kind of goes back and forth, and different styles become prevalent. And then, you kind of address those, and then it kind of starts evolving to another phase. And so that's the fun part of this.
Is it following you in offense? I mean, you want big numbers though, right? I mean, that's not. It's one
Yeah.
as the other.
I think that's the trick of it is you're trying to find, okay, what are the solutions? What are the opportunities? We've talked about explosive plays, I think, a few times in these talks, and you're trying to find different opportunities to create those, because obviously teams are not giving you the true just one-on-one, someone go win it. You got to design it, and how can we create these opportunities in other fashions?
So like another piece of that, like is the shutdown corner kind of changed too? Like it used to be like Revis on the side, shake the safety all the way over here. He's like the people. Do you see that type of?
I think there's still a few situations like that. Thinking off the top of my head, Denver can play that way, certainly with Pat. He plays to the boundary a lot of times, and they kind of can kick the coverage to the field, and so there's still elements of that. Certainly, we've seen that a few times so far.
When you're trying to correct special teams issues like the ones you had in week 3, is that just a situation where you trust Phil to sort it out? Do you get more involved? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, I have all the confidence in Phil. Phil's doing an awesome job. I definitely want to be a resource, be able to help him in any possible way, but he's done an excellent job. I think our guys have put a ton of work into it, added a little bit extra time this week, which I think has helped. I think our guys have responded really, really well. I thought it's been a really clean practice, all 3 days on the teams.
Bailey can't go and Trey Palmer makes his debut. What are you expecting out of him? What can you add?
Yeah. We feel great about Trey. We're fortunate to get him. Obviously, we have some depth currently at the receiver room, so he hasn't really gotten into that game day roster yet. We would have all the confidence in the world if he had to hop out there and play.
Joining as a waiver claim, just how quickly has he been able to pick up the offense, and what do you feel about his progress there?
Done an excellent job. I think in just about every game, if we needed him, he would have been ready.
Understanding like Spencer's the guy who backed him. What progress have you seen from Sheck the last few weeks?
Tyler's done an incredible job. I think for a young quarterback to be able to go through the phase of playing on the scout team and kind of go through that mode, and we still have these different opportunities where he can practice, preparing for our offense. I think scout team's an awesome developmental opportunity for quarterbacks. It's a chance to test yourself, to make some mistakes, to push the limits at times, to see what you can do and you can't do. And then he's leading that group each and every day. He leads the huddle. He leads the charge. He's just done an incredible job, and I think it's an awesome opportunity for him to just keep growing.
How much did you take out of the 3 snaps or from Sunday's game?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. Obviously, there wasn't a lot. It's just three snaps, unfortunately. But it was good to at least get him in an active, regular season game for an opportunity there, and we'll see. All right, thanks, guys.